Hey, paisanos, it's the Super Mario Brothers Super Show!
With the Mario Brothers and plumbing's a game. We're not like the others who get all the fame. If your sink is in trouble, you can call us on the double. We're faster than the others, you'll be hooked on the brothers. Hooked on the
brothers. All right, here we are. Episode 3 of the Internet Safe Space. Our newest guest, Jayden, introduce yourself.
Hello, I'm Jayden. I'm one of Anthony's friends.
Dude, how long
What's
have
up,
I known
guys? Since 7th grade.
Give him a little background. Just a little.
Okay. So we are now... Actually, I just turned 22. We're both 22 years old now. How old were we in 7th grade? 12, 13?
13?
Well, I was 12, because I'm a year younger than everyone. Well, yeah. Technically. So
yeah, you would have been 12. I would have been turning 13, probably.
Yeah, so almost a decade.
Yeah, almost. Holy shit. Jesus.
Oh, that's
ridiculous.
Old.
Yeah. Jayden's my what's it called? My e-boyfriend.
No, I'm not.
No, I swear, it's actually, like, I can't get out of my head is what you look like right now.
I know, my hair is very long
when
now.
you lean back, your hair is, like, kind of covering your eyes.
I know, I'm actually going to cut it soon, probably. I don't know. I was going to dye it blonde.
I was thinking the same.
You should just grow it out.
But, yeah, so me and Jayden have been friends for a million years. Almost as long as me and Jake. But I knew Jake first because of Radcliffe.
Oh, yeah.
He was in my kindergarten class, and then he left in 3rd grade. He left, and Lucia came in.
Oh, they switched. Well, not technically switched, but
like,
pretty much. Yeah,
pretty much.
I didn't know that. I know he left. I didn't know Lucia came in, though.
Yeah.
That's
interesting. Yeah, he was like the new kid for most of it. But anyways, getting off track. So today, we're doing another segment. This time, we're doing another top 10. Top 10 video games of all time. Now, this was like, I thought top 10 rap albums post 2000. Like, I gave it a little bit of a limit at least. This is just from when video games existed to now. That includes from Pong to Pac-Man all the way up to God of War Ragnarok. That's where we're doing everything, which makes it really hard because when you consider just how many video games exist, I don't know about you, I'm saying apps don't count.
No, I didn't do... There's not a single... Actually, I play one app game, and that's Marvel Snap, and that is not in my...
I know a lot
of people nowhere close to my...
No, of course not.
Yeah, I hate that game.
But there are some people that would argue that, like, Plants vs. Zombies could be in a top 10 list for best video games of all time.
I've seen people's lists online, and Plant vs. Zombies is sometimes in there.
That's what I'm saying. It's like, it's a contender, which is crazy because it's a fucking phone game. But technically, they did make renditions for both DS and the Xbox 360/PS3. So, and I only know that because I owned it for 360. So technically, it did actually branch into being a full-fledged console game. So I think
the PS3 fucking version sucked.
The which version?
The PS3 version sucked.
Oh, yeah, for sure. The PC version is the best one. That's the best version.
Yeah, I've never played it.
But I've played it and beaten it on the computer. I like how it has mods and shit too. But again, getting sidetracked.
Oh.
Maybe at some point we'll do top 10 apps of all time to be the brain rot episode.
Oh, God.
It's going to be so odd. Like, it's Subway Surfers, Angry Birds, PVZ. It's just going to be like the standard.
Yeah.
Also, if anybody sees these lights, they just do that. I don't really know if I can fix it. Wait, give me a second.
Oh, I just got flashbanged.
Because it got brighter?
Yeah. And I'm like, my lights are off except my LEDs.
So, how do I look now? Probably a little bit better. Probably a little brighter.
I think you look brighter. Oh, yeah.
Okay, so let's get into it. It's been about 5 minutes, a little 5 minute introduction. So we're gonna do the same thing as for the albums. If you haven't watched any of that, well, I'll really re-explain it. So we'll do 10 through 2, and then we'll do our 5 honorable mentions, and then we'll reveal our number ones at the end. So one thing that I think is a good distinguishing factor. I don't know if I mentioned this. We're doing individual games. Like, for example, you can't say Call of Duty as a series. You'd have to name a Call of Duty game. You know that, right?
Yes, I know. I don't have. I have specific games for each 10.
Okay, good. Because I actually said I think the list is different if you make it series. Like, if you make it a series of games, COD should be top 3, probably. I'd have to think about it,
For
but
me at least.
2K would be up. Like right now, you would never pick an individual 2K game, but 2K as a series or FIFA could be considered a top 10 series of all time. So it's definitely different. We're doing individual games. So I'll start with my number 10, give a little explanation, then we'll shoot to you, Jayden,
I got
to
you.
give yours. So my first one is actually, let's do this too. Just to like give some like extra visuals, pull a picture up on your phone. That's what I did with the albums. We like would pull the album up and kind of show it to the camera. So pull a picture up
Okay.
just in case people have no idea what you're talking about. Which knowing you, there's
Okay.
a chance you name games that no one's ever heard of.
Okay.
So I'll show you my first one, and then we'll do it like this. This is my first one.
Wow, at number 10.
And number 10. That's how you know there's some banging games in this list. So GTA 5. This is one of the ones that I think is it should 100%. I really think it should be in your top 10. You're smiling like it's not.
It's I hate GTA 5.
It
You
is
know
one of
I
the
do.
I'm thinking a lot of criteria here, right? When I'm talking about games. GTA 5 deserves to be in everybody's top 10 because how often do you see somebody be able to create a video game with an online component that actually stands the test of time? Like is they don't even like update it. Like they update it a lot, but they don't make like these like incredibly major changes. Like they add some new game mode. They add a new car,
Yeah.
a new gun. It's not like if Call of Duty didn't. I think if Call of Duty had one game, and not Warzone because they kind of copied Fortnite. But if Call of Duty just had one shooting game that they just updated and that had an online component, it would not last the way GTA 5 has lasted. I don't think it would.
That's Call of Duty Mobile, bro.
Yeah, but the longevity is one thing, and then also just what it is like. I can't talk about any of the other games, even though that would factor into my reasoning, because it was the first one was a lot more like revolutionary, just given what it was. But I can't say that because then I'm talking about the series, which the series definitely also deserves to be a top 10 series. But I digress. The open world factor combined with the online component makes it so you can. It's like limitless in a lot of ways, and it's
Hmm.
just just do you know how many times, at least for me, I've ended up like just talking on the mic with like Jake or whoever else, right? Like get like a group of people, doesn't matter who, David, um, and you're just kind of like driving on the highway in your car, like you're not doing anything, just kind of mindlessly driving on the GTA highway, just shooting the shit. Like that's the type of that means something. You don't just do that with a lot of games, you know, where you're
No,
just
yeah.
kind of like idling in it, but you don't want to leave it. So, anyways, I'm speaking too much. Tell me yours.
Before I get into mine, I GTA is not on my top 10. And the reason why I hate the game so much is because I bought it on my PS3. I think I got like 70% into the campaign, and then I ran into a glitch where a mission wouldn't pop up for me, and it was like a known glitch. So you had to restart the whole campaign again. And somehow my online got affected by it too, so I had to restart my whole online. Like I had to delete the whole like data off my PS3, so I lost like hours of progress. And I have ever since then, I don't think I've touched GTA 5 since probably the year it came out. I have not bought it for PS4. I have not bought it on PC. and it's so biased. I think GTA 5 is a great game. I'm ignorant, and I just hate that game for wasting so much of my time because of a dumb glitch. But for my top 10, it's a newer game. It is Final Fantasy VII Rebirth. My camera's not gonna pick it up, but you can't. Yeah,
If you
Final
hold it
Fantasy
right
VII
next to the
Rebirth.
front and like let it linger, it'll
Oh
focus.
yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
So this
There you go.
is Cloud's game, right?
This is Cloud's game.
Yeah. So
So
little PSA, I only know Cloud from Smash Brothers. Right, go ahead.
yes. So Final Fantasy VII Rebirth is a remake of the original one, but how they're doing it is they're making it into 3 games. So there was a Final Fantasy VII remake, then the Rebirth is the second one, and they're making a third one. I played the 7th one last year, and I loved it. It's an RPG. The story of Final Fantasy VII is really fucking good. It's really, really good, and I love the graphics. The voice acting in it is pretty good. It's one of my favorite games. I 100%ed it too, which took so many hours of my life.
I did that with Elden Ring, so I know.
Yes, Elden Ring. Yeah, I think, to be honest, if you're looking for a Final Fantasy game to play, because there's like so many, start with Final Fantasy VII Remake, then play Rebirth. But I personally like Rebirth more, so that's why I put Rebirth more than Remake, because they usually how like sequels are, they just add on to more of like stuff in game, like fix like things that I had problems with the first one. So I just think Rebirth is such an amazing game, and I'm very excited for the third one. Very, very excited, because it's like the story didn't end. You know what I mean? Like it's like a movie. Pretty much we're in like it's like Empire Strikes Back right now for doing Star Wars. Like a lot happened, but like we didn't get the conclusion yet. I never played the original Final Fantasy either, so I'm waiting for the third one to come out. Then I'm gonna play the original one, because the original one's like the whole game, obviously.
Yeah.
So to be honest, I will probably change to the original one after I'm done playing it when the third one comes out.
Valid.
But yes, I do really like that game a lot, and it's newer too. Most of the games on my top 10 are gonna be newer. Yeah.
Really? Most?
Yes.
Do I have any that came out recently?
I have
Not a single one of my games has come out in the past, like, none of these have come out in the past 5 years.
Wow. Oh my god, that's insane.
Let me see. I'm staring at the newest one that's in here. You probably know what the newest one is. Let me think. When did that come out? Yeah, not within 5 years.
That's
So
crazy.
you'll see when we get to it. It's a little bit deeper in the list, but let's go to number 9 now. Let me pull this shit up. This is another one that like is disgustingly amazing. This game, I mean, it's undeniably, bro, so good. Like it's so good.
Brawl? Brawl? That's crazy. Brawl is crazy.
Super Smash Brothers Brawl. So first, we're talking longevity again. Like, yeah, obviously I mostly play Ultimate now, but if more people wanted to play Brawl, I'd sit down and play fucking Brawl. But it's not even, so this is why, because actually in terms of the combat, Ultimate is just better. It's smoother, you can do better combos, there's more characters. The smashing part of it is better in Ultimate, just is. Like, the only reason you'd say Brawl is better for the combat is because of nostalgia. But you can't realistically tell me that. I've played Brawl. It's super clunky. It's so goddamn clunky. Ultimate is like spreading butter. So goddamn smooth. I can do a little Donkey Kong.
Yeah.
Besides the point, the reason Brawl is the best Smash Brothers they've ever created is because of the story mode.
Yeah.
No other Smash has that.
What is it called?
Brawl story mode. That is... There's like very few games where I could pull up a YouTube video and from start to finish watch their cutscenes in order and want to do that and like not get bored.
Oh yeah, the cutscene. The cutscenes were pretty cool. Oh, it was
That's why
the
the
subspace
gameplay of the
emissary.
story mode is so minimalistic. It's a side scroller. Like it's nothing special. It's those cutscenes were they stand the test of time, first of all, because nothing like that exists. There's not like these all of a franchise's video game characters coming together to unite against a common threat. Like that's something that you could input into any game, into any like if Sony's like kind of done that, I guess. Like the Astrobot stuff brings in like other characters, but it's not the same. This is like watching all of those characters pair up in their own sections and everybody's moving towards that common goal without even knowing who each other are. And then like two of the groups merge and it's like a whole fucking thing. It's awesome. It is just so awesome for no reason. So I think that deserves to be in the top 10 greatest video games of all time because of that story mode is just like, it's just so incredible. I don't think anything, it'll be a long time before I think Nintendo creates anything like that again. They could have done it for Ultimate and they didn't because Sakurai said that he didn't like that people looked it up on YouTube instead of just playing. He wanted people to grind for the cutscenes, and that's why he didn't make them. That's legally said.
I did back in the day. I
grinded
played
for
it
them. Me
when
too.
It came out. I never watched it. I beat younger Jayden beat Subspace
But also,
Emissary.
looking stuff up on YouTube like that was not as common when we were kids. YouTube was still like, think about it. When you and I were born, iPhone didn't even exist. We're that old, you know? So it's like YouTube was still a newer thing. So like they probably were on YouTube when the game first came out, but we were not thinking like, oh, let's go look this up on YouTube. We were thinking, let's fucking play the game. Like,
no, yeah.
we weren't in the mindset. The newer generation is much more like, I'm not getting it right away. Let's just YouTube it.
No, I would buy the fucking companion books, the thick ass books.
Dude, I bought one for Mario Odyssey. I bought the companion book.
For one of my games in my top 10, I bought one, and I'll save that for later.
All right, give me your number 9. I just talked
Number
about
9.
Ultimate for like fucking 4 minutes.
No, Brawl.
Or not Ultimate, yeah, Brawl, sorry.
Yeah, Brawl. Number 9 for me, I think it's an amazing game. I think everyone should play it. Hollow Knight. I think Hollow Knight is such...
Really? I've never played
Hollow
it,
Knight.
but I'm like, I've heard stuff about it. I didn't realize until this moment that it was so good that it would be in the top 10. Please tell me why.
I've been in it 3 times. I could not tell you what the story is about. I just think the combat for a side scroller is so good, and I like difficult games. I like games that make me upset and that are just not easy to go through. I think the art and the music is amazing. I also like how they don't really tell you what to do, so you can just do whatever. But it's not open world, if that makes sense. And I don't know. It's just a game that I just like, oh, I'm going to do another run of Hollow Knight. And like, no matter how many times I play it, I'm still ass at it. I just think the art is phenomenal, by the way. That's like the driving point of the game. The art is, just the graphics, I mean, it just looks so good for a side scroller. And I think it's on the Switch. So it's like it handles well on the Switch. So it's a fucking side scroller, kinda. So, but yes, if you need a Switch game, please play Hollow Knight. It is very difficult though. So if you're not really good at like video games, it might be a hard one. But I think Hollow Knight's very.
Well, you're talking
good.
to the audience, not me.
I know I'm not talking to you. I'm talking to the audience.
I'm making sure they know that too.
Yes, I'm talking to you guys, not Anthony. I think you played Cuphead, so like I think Cuphead's 10 times. I think
Cuphead.
Yeah, Cuphead is like so much harder than Hollow Knight.
Cuphead was harder. Like if we're comparing time it took for me to beat, Cuphead took longer for me to 100% than Elden Ring.
Yeah,
Elden Ring was easier than Cuphead because Elden Ring had cop-outs. You know, everyone's like, oh, if you use Mimic Tear, you're a bitch. That's fine, but it exists in the game and it's a cop-out. Cuphead didn't have like you could fully you could go on YouTube and look up absolute best Cuphead build it, and you will still be ass.
No, you'll still be ass.
Elden
Yeah.
Ring, if you load up max Mimic Tier, max Blasphemous Blade, you can spam your way through most bosses, and you can over
Yeah.
level yourself. There's way to like cheese it. There's no Cuphead
Hmm.
cheese. You
There
have
is
to be
not.
good. It is a harder game.
Yeah, I hate Cuphead because it was so hard. Even though I like hard games, I just got so upset when I played it back in the day. Did you duo it with someone? Did you just play by yourself?
I
Oh
played.
yeah, I think if I duoed it with someone, I would kill that person. I think I would.
It's. I've tried to do it before. It's not fun. It's better to play alone. That one.
Yeah.
All right, let's do number 8. We also we have to. It's my fault. I talk so long. I need to talk less because we are already 20 minutes in and we're on number 8
Oh
of
yeah,
our
do a little
hour.
speed run.
All right, next number 8.
Wow, number 8 for you, really? Wait, that's so interesting. I legit thought this would be top 3 for you. What the hell?
Wow. And because you know that I fucking love this game. You don't
I know
understand, bro.
that's.
The the games coming next, it's like it was hard. It was really hard. I was trying to think really objectively. Speaking of Cuphead, Cuphead is not in my top 10, but I did consider it because
Yeah, it's
it's
not in my top 10
because it's
either.
so it was again one of those games that just did something that nobody else did. I never seen anything like
Hmm.
it. But we're talking about Skyrim here. Yeah, Skyrim is that one. That was one of the ones I knew would be in my top 10. I just didn't know where it would be. Every game ahead of it, I think, is just objectively better than Skyrim. A few of them because of just what they are, others because of story. Skyrim has a story, but Skyrim's not like this cutscene fueled game. Um,
That would
and
be crazy.
that'll make more sense when you see like the games ahead. A lot more of them have like more detailed cutscenes, which makes
Hmm.
them just better for me because Skyrim. I'll say this though, Skyrim is the best RPG I've ever played, in my opinion. Like I don't think that Elden Ring is better than Skyrim. I don't. I'm playing Baldur's Gate right now. It's not better than Skyrim. I've yet to play an RPG better than Skyrim. Um, and Elder Scrolls 6 will probably then become the best RPG I've ever played whenever it releases. Because Skyrim for me, I started playing it when I was like probably like 12, and I was still
Hmm.
playing it deep into high school. Now I've done everything. All that's left are side missions that just recycle themselves over and over. But I
Yeah.
looked it up on YouTube, every single quest. I've done every possible thing you can do in the game over like a 5-year period. Um, I just loved that I could disappear from Skyrim for like 4 or 5 months, take a break, and then just come back and pick up where I left
Hmm.
off. Um, and for when it came out, how expansive that world was, that was seldom seen in other games. That was just there's just so much. I'd besides not even I'm not even gonna compare GTA because its map is smaller than the fucking DLC of Skyrim. So there at the time were just not games like that. That came out for the fucking Xbox 360. There were not massive open world landscape games. That was not popular yet. Skyrim was like one of the only ones, and it like did it well. Like I would just, you always find more to do. You could always find more to do. I was upset. Like I felt like there wasn't enough content when I finished everything. That's how you know it was a good game.
Yeah. It's like the only gaming company that would make those games was Bethesda.
Exactly.
So like, because
Now it's like
I didn't play.
commonplace to
Yeah.
make huge open world games, but it wasn't back then.
Mhm. I hate Bethesda. We should do a top 10 games what we hate on another episode. I would rant for hours on
Top
games I
10 games that I
absolutely
hate.
hate. There would be like a few Bethesda games in there. 'Cause I hate Bethesda, but no, I think Skyrim's not in my top 10,
Not?
but it's not. It's not. I know.
Did
I
you know it
know.
would be in mine?
I knew it would be in yours. Like I said, I thought it would be in your top 3,
Not my top 3 are
but
nutty.
my top 3 are so biased. So biased.
I think one of my top 3 is biased. I think the other 2 are valid.
Actually, I think 2 is biased. 1 is not. But my 2 are
I'm
biased.
so interested
Okay.
to say what you. Go
I
ahead.
know.
Give me your number 8.
Okay, I'll go 8. Number 8, Metal Gear Solid 5, Phantom Pain.
Never played
I
it.
think I know you've never played it. I love the Metal Gear Solid series, and when 5 came out, it was more open world than the other ones.
Yeah.
And pretty much you could do missions in like multiple ways. It's like Hitman. Have you played Hitman?
Mm-mm.
How you could like okay, well the game you pretty much have an objective and you could reach that objective so many different ways. You could play stealthy, you could do like just guns out blazing. And I think the game is so good. There's really good cutscenes. It was Kojima's last game he's working on. And fun fact, Konami did not give him enough time to complete the game how he wanted to complete it, and I still think it's a good game. So if Konami gave him more time to complete it, I think it would be like one of the best games of all time because they were rushing him to complete it. So yeah, the cutscenes are amazing. There's a little twist at the end, which I thought was beautiful. The gameplay is fun. Like I said, you can do missions in multiple ways. You can just do like dumb shit. Like you could like D4 like an electric pole, and like the pole will fall down and electrocute like a bunch of people. You could just it's just like dumb shit you can do. But yeah, I think it's really fun. That's pretty much it. I'm a big Metal Gear Solid fan. I love stealth games. I just think it was like, oh my god, I can do just so much in this game.
Yeah,
Crazy.
valid.
But yeah.
Wonder if you're gonna have any games I've played because so far I haven't played any of them.
Mm-hmm.
Number 7, Bang.
Is that the first one? The
first
original one? This PS4 one?
Yep. I had to think about this
Okay.
because it there was it was very difficult to decide. Very rarely, honestly, has there been a sequel to a game that I've thought has rivaled the first so much.
Mm-hmm.
Like, usually you could be like, oh, the first is a little bit better. Like, this was hard. I mean, just the one cutscene in Ragnarok alone, when you die, or you think you die,
Oh
and
yeah.
he brings you back, that was nothing like that has ever existed in a video game. Now, Ragnarok is not in my top 10, because this one is, and this took where Ragnarok would be. And that's because while I did think I really enjoyed Ragnarok's story, and I like how Kratos finally got some peace, and the DLC was also fantastic, which I beat. It was very
Yes.
hard. Fighting
That
Tyr
shit
was
was
one that
so
made me want to
hard.
die. It was so hard, but I beat it, and it was a grind, and it was like I felt like it was so difficult. It almost like I felt like I was more like embodying Kratos. I mean, look at me.
Mm-hmm. That's funny as fuck.
Like, you know, but the reason I picked the first one is because that story and how him and Atreus growing together, you took Kratos, who was like, he's like a newly introspective guy. Everything was always just violence and death and, just murder everybody. And then in this game, they bring him back as this like old soul with a son. And it's like a whole new thing for him. Watching them grow together was just like, that story was incredible. The cutscenes were incredible. Everything about it was incredible. I hadn't played a game like that in a long time. Gaming at the time, at least for me, was kind of dead. There wasn't
There
much
was no
going
good
on.
PS4
Yeah,
games.
there was
You
like
had
nothing
Knack.
really happening, and then that shit came out, which Jayden told me about and told me to play, and I played it, and it is my number 7 of all time. And that is the newest game in my list. 2018.
That's crazy. That's crazy. That's
If
crazy. I
Ragnarok
already.
had made it, then Ragnarok would have been the newest, but
Yeah,
this one is the newest.
that's crazy. I like the first one a lot.
It's so good, man.
Not
Atreus
on
just
my
like
top.
not
Yeah, not on my top
is
10
Rag.
though. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. Okay, for my number 7, it's a game that you actually have played. It's Uncharted 2, among these.
Oh, that's such a good game. It's not in my list, bro. But that game is so good. That
It's in
game's
my
so good.
yeah. It's the best in my opinion. It's the best Uncharted game.
The train scene.
The intro scene's amazing, and
Is Tencent in
it's
that
in my
one?
yeah. It's Tencent. Yeah,
Yeah,
Tencent's that
bro.
one.
Oh my god. Please talk about
It's
it.
in
Please
my
talk about it.
it's at number 7 because it's like one of the first PS3 games I've ever played. Like not one actually. Yeah, it's one of the first ones. My dad and his friends bought it, and I remember just like watching them play it, and I was just, like, I remember going downstairs to them playing it, and they just started the game, and I was like, "Yo, what happened? Like, why are you like almost dead on the train?" And my dad was like, "Oh no, like the game just started," and I was like, "Holy shit, that's crazy!" I was like, "What the hell?" Then I just think after playing all of them, the second one had like the best story, introduced Tenzin and developed Nathan's like friendships and relationships more. The fucking set pieces were crazy. Well, Uncharted 4 is the only one that rivals it with set pieces, in my opinion. But Uncharted 2, the beginning set piece is good. Online was amazing during its prime. Because I played when it released and stuff. Online had a really big community, and online was very fun for it. Like, very, very fun for it. And I don't know. It's a classic for me.
You and I have talked about this multiple times, actually. This was one of the games you and I aligned on early because nobody else in our friend group fucking even knew what it was, except for Jake.
Mm-hmm.
Jake knew
Yeah.
Nathan Drake, but
Jake like played it more recently though.
yeah, you could. Yeah, he did
Recently.
because I played it before we were friends because my brother had it for PS3 and I played it. I played that for PS3. I played that Infamous 2 and The Last of Us in a row.
Oh my god!
It was one of the
forgot
craziest.
about the Infamous games.
Yeah. Yeah, because fucking Naughty Dog just stopped
God.
making them for whatever reason. Bring back Cole
No, 'cause-
McGrath.
Well, they're doing Naughty Dog's doing. I'm pretty sure they're doing no. Naughty Dog is for Uncharted. It's Sucker Punch that does Infamous. I
Oh,
think.
you're right. Or it's not both. I'm probably
I
just
don't.
confusing.
I don't know.
Naughty
Sucker
Dog
Punch
definitely
is
does Uncharted. So maybe
Yeah.
you're probably right. Sucker
No, I
Punch.
think
Sucker
does.
Punch does Infamous. You're right.
They're
You're
doing. Right. They just announced a new Ghost of Tsushima, Ghost of Yotei.
I saw
So
it.
that's the games they're working on now. That's why we don't have a new Infamous.
Yeah.
I thought they weren't gonna do a second Ghost of Tsushima. And I thought they were gonna do like a remaster of the original Infamous, or like a remaster, or like a remaster for like the recent Sony press conference they had, which would have been a W.
Infamous remaster would be insane. So good.
It's an old game. I think it was a launch title for PS3. To be honest, I'm pretty sure it was a launch title.
It's really fucking old.
Yeah. Oh, I don't even remember the first one that much, to be honest.
I actually played them out of order. My brother didn't own the first one. He only owned the second one. So I played Infamous 2. I didn't even realize it was a second game. I thought the name was Infamous 2. Like I thought
Yeah.
I didn't realize it was the number
that.
2. And then I finished it and I was like, "Oh, I wish this game had a sequel." And my brother was like, "Oh, well, it's the second game." So I played the first one. So it was weird cuz in my mind the first one released second as a prequel, which it didn't, but that's how I played it. So it felt like playing a prequel, which was even more crazy.
Yeah, I like the second one more because you have more powers. Then the first one was a little clunky from what I remember. But it was an early PS3 game, so it makes sense. Then Second Son was just too short for me, in my opinion.
It was a stupidly easy platinum, too. Like,
yeah.
They also like. I'm sorry, I don't know why they thought they could just bring in another character. Fucking bring Cole McGrath back. Are you dumb? He's cool.
They'll probably do. After they launch Ghost of Yotei. I don't know if I'm saying that right, but I think they're gonna either remaster it. They're probably gonna remaster it.
They should do something.
There's like a big fan base. They should remaster it.
But let me go to number 6 for interest of time. Bang.
Oh my god. Oh my god. That's insane. That's not in my top 10. That's not in my top 10. I know.
How this not even at your number your number 10? Like how is
there's no Call of Duty in my top 10.
this game, Jayden.
Hmm.
Do you know how many fucking hours we played this game
We have
together?
days. We have days
Jayden,
played
not just the
together.
multiplayer. No. The
Zombie, yeah.
greatest cinematic experience zombies will ever have. That's why this game is not only is it in my top 10, but it's like trumping games like God of War because of the
No, it
zombies.
makes
Like
sense.
the multiplayer was fun as fuck. It was at a time we were in 8th grade when this game was popping, so all of our friends were
Yes.
playing it. This was our main COD. We never played another COD the way we played this one
Hmm.
because we were
We
playing
would stay up till
multiplayer.
3 a.m. for the DLCs.
Yeah, we were keeping up with the DLCs,
God, that was so
watching
bad.
trailers, theorizing about zombies. And those zombies maps, I mean, you get Dreisendrach, Grad Krovi. Some of Dreisendrach is pretty much, it's like one of the more universally agreed, is like a top 3 map of all time for zombies.
Yeah, definitely a top 3 for
It's
me.
my favorite. It's my number one favorite. Would you know that I know that map
Yeah.
like the back of my hand. If I'm on that map, we're winning every time.
Anthony
But
wouldn't hang out because he would play the Rise and Drac.
yep, I would practice the fucking Easter egg solo, which I did do. Jayden was on stream when I beat it. That was like 7 years ago or 8 years ago. But yeah,
I
so
was
that
on
game is
stream.
that's my number 6. It is the best Call of Duty I've ever played. I don't think another one will ever be released that's
Hmm.
even close to as good. Probably not. Go ahead. It's number 6 for you.
I also is a new game. It's Resident Evil 4 remake. I love the
Is did I
Resident
play
Evil
that one?
games.
Which Resident Evil did I play?
No, you played Biohazard. You played 7,
Yeah,
the first
that's
person one.
yeah.
I'm actually wearing a Resident Evil 4 shirt right now.
Nice. Turn
I
around. Do a full turn. Let the people see your back.
my headphones. Hold on. Oh, I don't know if you can see it, but it's pretty much just like the cover, not the cover art, but it's like
Yeah.
art. But yes, I have. This game came out a few years ago. I love the original one with all my heart, but it was just old. It released for like the GameCube back in the day, before like I think I was born, maybe like 2001, maybe. I don't even know. Actually, no, later than that. I don't fucking know. I'm bad with years, but the remake is beautiful. It stayed true to the original one, but adding more, obviously better, more mechanics, graphics, and stuff. I'm actually, I've sped run this game. My speed run is bad, but I've been in the game. I forgot what my time was, but I've been in the game fairly fast because for most of the Resident Evil games, you can speed run them after you, like, you know what I mean? Like it's like one of the main components because you get like a grading of like how many times you died, how many times you saved, how fast you beat it at the end. And to get like an S rank, you have to like beat it under a certain amount of hours, and I've S ranked it. I'm actually playing a modded version on my computer right now. It's called like Berserk, and like the difficulty I'm on is called Leon Must Die, and it just throws everything at you. And I feel like I wouldn't say I'm a vet at Resident Evil 4, but I'm like, I know what's going on. Like I know how to play the game, and I still can't get through it. Like I'm taking a break off of it now, but it's so hard. But the base game as a whole, it just, I think a lot of people have Resident Evil 4 in their top 10s because for the time it was like the first over the shoulder shooter to like ever release, and like the remake just makes it so much better. I love the remake so much because like the original one is like it's old, and you can like if you played. I recently played the original one, and I was like, I can't play it; it's too old. But yes, please, if you want to start with a Resident Evil game, you start with 4. 4
I
is the
already
best one.
started with 7.
Yeah, you start with 7,
It
and
was
7.
really
Yeah,
good. I told you I
I think
liked it a lot.
7 is one of my favorite Resident Evil games too. It'll be Resident Evil 4, then Resident Evil 2 remake, then I think Resident Evil 7 because like Resident Evil 7 was like came out of nowhere, and no one thought it was a Resident Evil game. Everyone just thought it was like a horror game, and it was first person too. It's the first Resident Evil that wasn't an arcade shooter, because they had arcade shooters. Like, you know, you pick up the gun of Resident Evil games, and obviously that's first person. But that's like in the main line. That's the first. That's the first game that was a first person. So I think 7's really good, and 7's really scary. 4 is not scary. It's more actiony, but still a little scary. So yes, that's my number 6. Let's go to 5. My favorite number.
Number 5. Let me pull that up.
I'll pull mine up too.
Yeah, you knew this one was coming. Here we go.
I know. Number 5 though is interesting.
Yeah. Number
That's
5, Last of
crazy.
Us.
Number 5. That's insane.
Yeah, this one was there was if you go back when I first played it, I'd tell you it's the best game I've played in my entire life. Um, you know,
I think I would too.
part of this has to come down to got to let these things sit. This is still top 10.
Hmm.
It'll be a top 10 till the day I die. Um, it is so good. I mean, that story. I've replayed The Last of Us double digits. I've replayed it over 10 times. I ended up, I only platinumed it like last year. I got the PS5 version, which is my third time owning it.
That
I got the
was like
PS5
the
version.
full remaster, right?
Yeah,
It was like only for PS. Yeah, yeah. I
yeah,
forgot I didn't buy that.
yeah. I got the remaster, played it. They actually changed how the trophies work. They made it a little bit easier. Um,
Yeah, I heard about that.
and I platinum. Well, yeah, because like they took out there used to be grounded trophies. You don't have to play it on grounded anymore
Oh,
to get the platinum. So, I mean, I still did, but you didn't have to. The worst part was finding all the collectibles. That was so annoying because there's an absurd amount, and there is the only thing that made it a little bit better is that if you know which one you missed, they in the remaster they actually added a thing where you can go back to other chapters, but you had to be
oh,
smart about it because if you went back to a chapter, all your progress ahead of the chapter got erased. So if you missed a collectible,
oh.
but let's say you just missed one, then whatever, go to the chapter and get it. But if you missed multiple, you had to like don't be stupid as you're going back. You have to like start from go backwards and get them
Yeah,
in
okay.
order.
No, yeah, that's like how it usually is. That makes sense. Yeah, that
But
makes sense.
yeah, that game is there's very few video games that really attach you to the characters. Like I think there's a major difference from God of War's story to this one because God of War's
Mm,
story I appreciated the bond, but I wasn't attached to Atreus the way you get attached to Ellie. And I
yeah, that
wasn't
makes sense.
attached to Kratos the way you get attached to Joel.
Hmm.
Um, there's just something about that dynamic, and they just feel so human. Um, and the emotion that's built up, and watching them like slowly, watching Joel open his heart and Ellie kind of fill that gap that was there for so long.
Hmm.
They did it so well. I don't know how they
Yeah.
did it, but they did it.
Then they just ruined it with the second
Oh
one.
yeah, the second one that would be my top 10 worst games of all time.
Actually, I replayed it recently, and I understand what they were going for. I just didn't think they had to. Um, to be honest, it got spoiled. I knew. Spoiler alert! Spoiler alert for like a fucking 5-year-old game or whatever it's called. I knew Joel was gonna die because from leaks. Because I'm fucking scrolling through Reddit and I'm like, oh, Last of Us. What the fuck did I just read? I knew he was gonna die, and I don't like how they made Abby a playable character, but I understand why they did it. I just don't like it. And also, Last of Us is not in my top 10. It's not in my top 10, but I really do adore that game. I do adore that game. I think Last of Us 2 has really good gaming mechanics.
The mechanics were
Speaking,
good, but
yes, like the stealth was so much easier, not easier, but so much better. Speaking of game mechanics, my number 5 is God of War Ragnarok.
interesting. So
I
you
I
picked
like
Ragnarok.
I like Ragnarok more solely more for the gameplay mechanics and just as how they made everything better. I think God of War, the original God of War PS4, has a better story by 1,000 miles. I think the
Okay.
story is
Okay.
so
Okay.
much better. I think the story is so much better. The only thing that bothered the fuck out of me is that they reused the same bosses over and over and over, and it upset me so dearly. It upset me so much that I kept fighting the same troll or the stone talus. I am upset. I am very upset about that. For the Valkyries, I understand. I understand. They had different move sets. Ones were harder than the others. I understand. For Ragnarok, they did reuse mini bosses, but there were so many different kinds of enemies in that game and so many new bosses because it's like you're actually like fighting like gods now instead of just fucking Thor's kids. I think the switching through weapons was much more smoother. I think obviously the graphics were better. I think the spear was fucking dope.
The spear was very cool. I am gonna
Yes,
interject. The spear was sick.
I think the spear is cool, and I like how I felt like in the first one you could go through the game using one weapon mostly. Obviously, minus for like the frost when you went to hell and you had to use like the blades. But like after like those segments, you could just like, or in like the final boss fight, you could use more. You could just use mostly more of one weapon. To be honest, in my opinion, in the second one, I feel like wait. What am I saying? I feel like in the second one you had to use all the weapons, so you just couldn't focus on one and stuff. And I really like that. And I just think, yeah, just the mechanic wise, it just makes it a better game in my opinion. Even though I think the story is subpar to the first one, I don't even think the story in the second one is good. To be honest, I don't like. It felt very rushed at the end. They should have just made it a. To be honest, they should have made it a trilogy. In my opinion, they really should have made a trilogy, like how they did with the original one. But it's fine. It's fine. I just like the game mechanics more.
All right.
And it lost Game of the Year too. It lost Game of the Year to Elden Ring.
Stupid.
Yeah,
Stupid.
in the moment, I think I was stupid. Then I replayed both of them, and I agree. But we can go to number 4 now. What is your number 4?
Both, so
I didn't.
Yeah, we'll do number 4. All right. So we're at 45.
Oh my god, we'll speed run.
We'll speed run. This one I can speed run too because there's not much to say, dude.
Yeah, I can speed run this one too.
I stand by this, bro. I fucking stand by this.
That's crazy. I understand, but that's crazy. The Wii one is,
dude. How could you not like Mario Kart Wii? Is a game. I mean, I don't even know how to explain it. It was first off at the time it came out, nobody else did anything even close. The actual motion, they did motion driving, and they did it right. Like it stands the test of time. I went through my senior year of college. My roommate had a Wii, and we played Mario Kart Wii. I would say bare minimum once a week. That is a game that came out like fucking over 10 years ago, and we were playing that, and it was holding up against. It holds up against other games. Like 10 years from now, there's a much higher chance that you pick up Mario Kart Wii, which will now have been over 20 years old, than you pick up Elden Ring or Spider-Man. There's a higher chance you pick up Mario Kart Wii because it has longevity, and that longevity is something I respect because at the end of the day, I think what makes a good video game is not only the content within it, but if you want to go back to it. Like there are so many amazing games you never want to play.
I agree with you.
You want to go back to this game, and you're gonna want to go back to it. I could see myself at 30 years old booting up a dusty old Wii just to play Mario Kart Wii with some buddies because it's fucking fun and it'll always be fun. It has that replayability, and it's the best Mario Kart they've ever made. I love the motion. I am sad to see them pulling away from it. The motion is in Switch. It's really bad. I hate it. In comparison,
I don't like the Switch version.
The Switch motion, you're better off driving. You're going to lose against someone that's using the buttons. So, but yeah, that game is incredible. And I'm very comfortable with it being at my number 4. All right, go ahead.
Not in my top 10. There's no Mario game in my top 10.
I fucking knew there'd be no Nintendo in your top 10. Fuck.
I said Mario. Not Nintendo. Okay, number 4, we could just speedrun. It's Elden Ring. Very self-explanatory. I think it's a very good game. Number 4, yes.
It is.
My top 3 are very biased. I think it's a very good game. Plus, I'm a big From Software fan. To be honest, I was contemplating putting Bloodborne or Elden Ring in this spot. I didn't know which one I liked more because I think Bloodborne is just so different, and I love the more like dark vibe. But like Elden Ring has a dark vibe. Plus, like you can spend like hours in the first area. I spent the first 20 hours of my Elden Ring playthrough, my first playthrough, and I forgot in the first starting area. Like I didn't go past. Like I didn't beat Renala. Not Renala. Yeah, whoever the fucking
Godric?
Whoever. No. The one after Godric. The blue. Not the blueprint. Like the wizard that you had to like defeat. Like scholars.
I know.
The scholars. Is that Renala? No, that's not Renala. Is that the DLC?
No, Renala. I think Renala's DLC. It's
Renala's the DLC with the two swords, I think. That's actually her sister. I think
They're all
whoever hers,
related.
that's the sister. Yeah. But
Dude,
yes,
I beat Elden Ring. It took me 100, I think it was 190 hours, 180 hours.
I think mine was a little more because I didn't look anything up, so I tried to do all the DLC, and I'm like stupid sometimes, and I'm like indecisive on what I want to do. So I was just like walking in circles for like most of those hours, just trying to like make sure I get everything done, and like changing my build. But yeah, self-explanatory. I think Elden Ring is number 4. I was very contemplating Bloodborne because I love Bloodborne.
Yeah.
Why do they not have a remaster of it? And it's legit. No one plays Bloodborne because it's only available on the PS4. There's a PC port that came out recently, but it's not stable yet. Once it becomes stable, I'm gonna replay it on PC.
Yeah.
I'm just pulling up my number 3.
Number 3. I've got it booted. I'm very curious. I think there's a chance this is in your top 3, but then also I could see you being stubborn and not accepting that it's one of the greatest games of all time.
Oh God, what? I am very stubborn. Oh yeah, it's not in my top 10.
Dude, I
That's
need to keep
explanatory
this brief,
too.
but Minecraft, again, we're going back to that longevity. It's still played today. It's still popular today. And I'm impressed with them because they could not update it. I still think it would be just as popular because of all the online shit. But
Mm-hmm.
they are still even updating it with new biomes and mobs and items and stuff like that. Whatever elements. Minecraft again did something that nobody else did. It gave you a sandbox, but it was a sandbox where there was still like it was a sandbox in the way that you could really do kind of whatever you wanted, but there was still like a goal, which was like survive, right? Not talking
Mm-hmm.
about creative mode. I'm talking about like when you're actually in
Yeah.
survival mode. It's still sandbox box esque because you can break anything you want. The entire world you're in is malleable. You know, you can
Mm-hmm.
dig straight down if you want to. You can blow up craters, and build to the block limit, whatever. And now too that they made it infinite, they've added like that it just spawns infinitely is
Yeah.
crazy. But Minecraft, I think, with its versatility, especially when you factor in creative mode, I mean, you can do
Mm-hmm.
anything, anything. It's almost like a mini game engine now. Like you could go in there with and use redstone and blocks. Like have you seen the guy that made a fucking working CPU
Yeah.
or GPU or
And you
whatever
could
you
like,
call it? He
yeah.
made basically a mini computer just
Mm-hmm.
using redstone mechanics. Like the fact that obviously we couldn't do that, but it's the fact that it's possible.
Mm-hmm.
They gave you the tools because that literally means you could do anything given time and effort. And a video game that's able to do that just by placing some fucking blocks, um, it is one of the greatest games to ever exist, and it deserves its top 3 spot. And I'll die on that hill.
No, it's understandable. I did more like when I think of Minecraft, I think of it as a multiplayer game. All my games are like campaign heavy, and like so that's what I did. Minecraft would have been up there too for me because I love Minecraft. I'm actually gonna start a server up soon.
Oh, I might
With
have to take part in that.
yes, yeah, I can. Yeah, I have like we can have like 1,000 people on the server. And my computer can handle it, so we're gonna do that
It's
soon.
crossplay too. I'll play on my fucking PlayStation.
Yeah, there's like a thing I could do too for like PC and play. Yeah, yeah, I understand. Self-explanatory.
Give me your
Minecraft's
number
an
3.
amazing game. Number 3, Spider-Man PS4. Super
That's your
biased.
bias. That's
That's my
100%.
bias. That's
That's
just my
bias.
bias. I think
It's
it's
really
biased
good,
because
Jayden. It is really
I
good.
I think it's a really good game. I'm biased about it because I love Spider-Man. I have a Spider-Man tattoo that I recently got. It's a little scabby because it's new, but the story is really good. Very good Spider-Man game. You don't get those stupid, oh, I got bit by a spider, learning how to be Spider-Man. You get a fucking vet Spider-Man that fucking took the Sinister Six by himself down. And we have not had a good Spider-Man game since the Spider-Man 2 game on the PS2. That's based off of the Tobey Maguire movies. That's the last good Spider-Man game we got. Open world Spider-Man game. Because Shattered Dimensions was very good, but it was not open world. And I just think the combat swinging around is just so much fun. I legit before Spider-Man 2 came out, I would swing around in Spider-Man PS4 for hours, even though I've 100% of the game, beating the campaign multiple times. The reason Spider-Man 2 isn't on my list because I think the story fucking sucks. I think it was so rushed. I think the combat.
I agree with
How
you.
they? I think the combat and I think everything else, visuals, swing around, everything else is good. The story
I
sucked.
found myself
And it
getting
had,
bored. I did.
yes, and I think the boss fights were really good. I just think the story sucked. I think it was too fast paced. I don't like how they did symbiote. I don't like how they did the Venom, and I just like that later. Like after like you get rid of the symbiote suit, it was just so fast. Didn't like it. I don't. And again, don't like how you have to play as Miles and Peter. Just like I just don't want to switch to both. I just wish they would just focus on Peter, then like fucking kill him off. Then the next team would be Spider-Man. Pretty much what they did in the second one, but he's not even dead. He's just like on retired. And I don't want to play as Miles. Plus Miles' suit at the end sucked. Whatever. But yes, Spider-Man 2. I spent Spider-Man PS4. One of my top 3 games. I think one of the best superhero games ever. No, it's ahead of the Arkham games. I just don't like Batman as much. That's why I think it's biased. That's super biased. Super biased. But yes. To your number 2.
This one is, I think, I really do. It's like I want to say it's biased, and maybe it is, but I also like really believe it. That's why it's here, man. This game is. Just look.
Oh my god, I forgot about that game. I think I agree with you. It's not in my top 10, but I agree with you.
It is the best story that I've. The best story in any video game that I've ever played.
Mhm.
I really for a while I thought The Last of Us. I still think The Last of Us's story because it's very similar with like the older figure and the little girl that are
Mhm.
not related, growing a bond over time. It's similar. They did it better, and let me tell you why.
Did it come
First
out?
off,
It came out before too,
this one
I
came out when
think.
I was in. We were in elementary school when this
Yeah.
season one of this. So this game, for people who don't know the Walking Dead game, it's first off super popular. You know, like PewDiePie played it, and like all the big YouTubers.
Mhm.
Um, it came out for the Xbox 360, and they did it via seasons. It was episodes. There's the fact that it's my number two as a video game. I think is crazy for one reason, which is that there's very little actual video game playing. The video game aspect is the decision making. Again, a lot of outliers in this list. Nobody fucking did decision making games like this before Telltale.
Yeah.
And Telltale did it and did it shitty before this. Like, I played their Jurassic Park game. It's mid. But then they
That came
did
out
this.
before?
Yep. Jurassic Park came out first and it was
Really? That came
ass.
out before?
Yeah.
Wow. Have you played a Wolf Among Us? Not Wolf
No,
Among
but I
Wolf.
know that one did really well for them. But
So
let me tell
good.
you why they did it better than The Last of Us. So, one, spoilers incoming. Ready? You get 3 seconds to leave. Three, two, one, and we're here. Um, biggest one, killing Lee at the end of season one instead of killing him in the beginning of season two. The fuck?
Yeah.
Way better decision. It was impactful. He died doing something important. He got Clementine back, so he accomplished his goal, protected her, and then died in the process, right? And
Hmm.
they had a proper goodbye. He let her go, and then you get the option, to either leave him or to fucking shoot him in the face.
I
That
shot
and
him.
so did I. I think the real gamers fucking shot him. But
Yeah, if you
one
left
of
him, you're an
the
asshole.
one of the most insane final decisions in a video game because you're playing as Lee the entire time. Like
Hmm.
usually when you play as a main character in a video game, like usually they don't die. You like the main character you're playing as
Yeah.
usually doesn't die. Usually they survive, especially in the first game that they're in. You know, um, and they did it, and it was able to elicit that emotional response. Nothing in The Last of Us made me feel that way, the way that I felt when I had to let Lee go, and knowing that
I
this was
cried.
I think I definitely shed a tear. I mean,
I
it is.
cried.
And then this is another thing. The Last of Us, besides maybe Bill, which they expanded upon Bill in the TV show,
Which
The
is very
Last of
good.
Us
I really
is
like that episode.
yeah,
That
it
was a
was
good
a good
episode.
episode. The Last of Us's side characters were also pretty shitty. They didn't do a lot of good development.
Yeah.
The Walking Dead's development of Kenny is one of the best
Walking
side
Dead.
character development stories that I followed. And now that includes season 2. Another spoiler, Kenny doesn't die in season 1. They make it seem like he does. He comes back in season 2. Also, one of the best fucking twists in ever.
Yeah,
That
I
was so
remember seeing
awesome.
that.
When he came back, I mean, but Kenny's development as a character was also incredible. And then Clementine's just as a character, watching her go from the character development, besides just the fact that they were able to, season 2 had like 5 different endings. Because, season 1, you couldn't really change the outcome.
Ugh,
Season 2,
I
you
didn't
could.
like. Yeah, you
There were
could.
different endings. You could really end differently. They all led to kind of the same place in season 3 because they had no
I
choice.
hated season 3
Season 3 was
and
ass.
season
Who the
and
fuck is
season.
Hobby? Like,
I didn't like season 2 that
and then
much
season
either.
4 would have been better if Telltale didn't go bankrupt and Skybound didn't take over. But it was
Oh
fine.
yeah.
I mean, it was kind of predictable and a little lame at times, but I liked the Lewis character. But that's besides the point.
Mhm.
This game, being season 1 of the Walking Dead game, is I've replayed this also double digit times. I have
Forgot
gotten
you played this in general.
I play it pretty much like every other year. Like when I was in college, I played through the story twice. Just while I was in college, I've had the game since 360. Um, but yeah, I've played it double digit times. For season 1, I pretty much know what every single voice line leads to. Like I've memorized it. I know how
Yeah.
to get
Okay, I
different
can see that.
endings. I've gotten to the ending with like all of the different character options for going to save Clementine. I've done it
Oh
all.
yeah.
I know it inside and out. I practically know the code. But I had to talk about that one for a little bit longer just because I think it deserves to be talked about. I wish people still talked about it. It is one of the greatest video games of all time. Nobody will ever make a game like that ever again.
Not in my top 10 because I totally forgot about that game. It wouldn't. Still, if I remember, it wouldn't be my top 10 because I played the first episode and the second episode. The rest I watched because I didn't have money to buy the other episodes because I bought it individually like an idiot because I didn't think it was gonna be good. Plus, I wasn't into Walking Dead at the time because I started the show late too, so wasn't really into it. Okay, my second one is another bias. It's the first Nintendo game. It's Twilight Princess. A game you haven't played either. I like this game.
No,
Actually,
I've never played a Zelda game all the way through.
specifically the Wii U version because the original one had stupid shit. The Wii U version was so much better. HD graphics. I like dark and like edgy things. So, and this game was the first Zelda game to just take a dark and edgy turn. I love the characters. I like the designs because it's Link from Wii U and Brawl. His design's my favorite. Arguably, I was gonna put Breath of the Wild before this because Breath of the Wild was just like a masterpiece in my opinion, and like developed like open world games even more than I thought it could be. Because like like all these games copy like the glider mechanic or like the stamina mechanic. I just think I like Twilight Princess more. I legit recently replayed it the other month and like ran through it, speed run through it because I just know the game like the back of my hand now. I think the story is very good. I like the darker tone. It came out in the early 2000s, so everything early 2000s was like dark tone and stuff, and it's just the story's so good. The boss fights were good. The dungeons were very very fun, even though after because you get an item in a dungeon, then the whole dungeon's based off of that item. Like the second half of the dungeon, really after that, you don't really get to use some of the items more, which is my only problem with it. And the side quests were amazing too. I just think I love Twilight Princess. That's my favorite Zelda game. And that's my number 2.
So we made it to number 1, but we're not gonna say it yet. This is what we're gonna do because we're starting to go over time a little bit. For the honorable mentions, you're gonna give me all 5 of them in a row with no explanation. You're just gonna say
Okay.
them.
Yes. Go. Okay. All right. Not in order. This is not in order.
That's
Skyrim, fine. Red Dead Redemption 2, Last of Us, Black Ops 3, Smash Ultimate.
Wow. Okay. So that's interesting because I'm counting Smash Ultimate as just saying Smash. That's interesting because you just named like 4 of your honorable mentions were in my top 10, which is
Yes,
crazy.
exactly. So that's why when you were saying it, and I was like, it's not in my top 10. You're like, what? I was like, I'll get them with the honorable mention.
Yeah.
Yes.
Now, none of my honorable mentions are in your top 10. So I'm gonna say them now. All right. Halo Reach,
Never played the Halo games.
Infamous 2,
Okay,
Wii
valid.
Sports,
Valid.
Uncharted 2,
Okay, valid.
and Pokemon Black and White.
I forgot about the Pokemon games. Actually, they wouldn't be my top 10, but valid. Black and White was actually, yeah, Black and White was my favorite too.
That was my favorite. It was so fucking good, but we're not allowed to talk about
You're
it. But it
good.
was so
No,
good.
it was very good. It was very good.
So actually, we did. I forgot. I fucking forgot. Uncharted was in there. So we had one overlap. Uncharted 2
You
is
want
an
to
honorable
overlap?
mention for me.
Mm-hmm. Oh, so
Um,
good.
what's it called? Okay, so our number ones. Let me pull that up.
Well, I want to know. I don't know what your number one
You have
is.
no idea because
You
before this you would have said it's either Skyrim, The Last of Us, or God of War. Probably that's what you were thinking.
hmm
Um,
you don't know my number one either.
I don't think you would have. I've probably said this to you before, but I don't know. Let's see. The big reveal. My number one video game of all time.
Wow, 64. Wow, that's crazy. I
Super
did not
Mario
expect that from
64
you.
is the
I did
best
not
video
expect
game.
that.
It is the best video game to ever exist. It is the best video game to ever exist.
Wow.
And what solidified that decision for me
Wow.
was when Nintendo remastered it for the Switch, which, by the way, was not really a remaster, it was more of a port.
Super port. But it came
Super
with
port.
Sunshine and Galaxy, right?
Yeah, Sunshine Galaxy, and that was so awesome.
I never bought it because
Oh, it was so good.
I don't like Mario games.
Yeah, well, Mario 64, Galaxy was almost in an honorable mention for me. Galaxy and Galaxy 2, because those are incredible, but 64 fucking paved the way for the gaming industry.
hmm
Paved it.
Yes.
Single-handedly paved the entire street so these guys could drive on it. It came in where 3D was new. It was new and they just did it correctly. Not only did they were so fucking creative, they went from making these like fucking side scrollers to somehow being able to craft an incredible 3D landscape that while the world you resided in was so finite, it also felt so infinite. And the first longevity. There's a pretty large speedrunning community for this game that is still
It
active
still
to this
is
day.
so active.
So active. There's plenty of mods online for it. The controls playing on the N64 controller is super smooth. It really doesn't feel clunky at all, considering
Which
how
is
old it is.
surprising because the N64 controller is like one of the worst controllers of all time, in my opinion. Like
It's super
it's like you
strangely
fucking yeah. I
for whatever
like
reason it works for Mario. It
least
works.
favorite controller. Yeah, it's insane. I'm glad you brought up that point that it actually because I was gonna bring that up if you didn't because I fucking hate that controller with all my heart. It's just the
Somehow it works.
dumbest design. But yes, it does work. It does work
And
very well.
that game, I've actually been telling myself because I'm playing Baldur's Gate and I'm also playing the Epic Mickey remaster just came out, which I'm playing. I pre-ordered that.
They did a remaster of that.
Yeah,
I
I'm
had
playing it
no
right now. It's
idea.
fucking awesome.
Holy shit! I did not know that. I never played it,
It's
but
for
that's
PS5.
crazy. Didn't it come out on the Wii? Or did it come out? That's
In
insane. What the
2010.
hell? That's insane. Yeah, I never played it.
It's a really good remaster, Jayden. I'm playing it. It's so smooth. They actually made because you on the Wii you would paint with the Wiimote, but that's not a thing now. But they made it so it's actually not ass because you have to use the stick to paint, but it works. The way they did it works.
Interesting.
I can't talk about that right now, but it's a good remaster. You should look into it. But then yeah, for Mario 64, I think just as a video game, it's 10 out of 10 perfect. It doesn't need a real like a cinematic, cutscene story
Mm-hmm.
like God of War and The Last of Us. Like it doesn't need that to be good. It
Did
just
not. Yeah,
it just
I did
is.
not expect that from you. Holy shit.
I could sit in that game and just run around and kill shit, and I don't know. There's something about it. It also could be a little bit of nostalgia. I mean, it's one of the first video games I ever played. Because my dad had a Nintendo 64 at my grandma's house. So before I had a console, that was the only console I had. Like even before the Wii came out, when I was really little, and I played Smash and I played Mario 64 and Diddy Kong Racing on the console. Um, but yeah, I don't know if that opinion will ever change. I don't think anything will come out that can top that game for me. It is so perfect.
Yeah, I like it more than Odyssey. I don't like Odyssey one bit.
Odyssey's
Hot
fun.
take.
Odyssey,
Hot
I
take.
liked Odyssey,
I
but
liked.
Mario
Yeah.
64 Odyssey is not Mario 64 2. It's not.
Yeah.
It's not.
It's
People
not.
try to say it is. It's not. It's
No,
closer to
it's not.
Galaxy than fucking
Yeah,
Mario
I like
64.
Galaxy. I like Galaxy more than Odyssey. I just did
So do
not
I.
enjoy Odyssey
Galaxy's
at
also
one bit.
better.
And I 100% at Odyssey. I do not like Odyssey.
Yeah, so did
Honestly,
I.
just
All
don't like Mario
999
games
moons.
either. Yeah, but I don't enjoy. Actually, I do like Mario games, but I just did not like Odyssey. I like Sunshine. My favorite Mario game is Sunshine because I think
Okay.
Sunshine is very difficult, and I like it. And I don't know. I like the levels in that. But I will get to my number one. It's a game you have not played, but you know the main character very, very well. Persona 5 Royale. You can't really see it. That's my
Interesting.
main in Smash, by the way, Joker.
Joker.
Persona 5
I
Royale.
know Joker's Persona 5. I would have never been able to. I actually said in my head while you were naming them, I'm like, I wonder if Persona 5 is in
Persona
this.
5 is my favorite game. I have beaten it twice so far. It's a game that takes over 100 hours. And it's like, you can't really like, it's not like you can do different things. You can do different things, but it's like the end's the end. Like you get the same ending no matter what, pretty much, and like the same choice. So you don't really get choices. I just think as an RPG, it is one of the best RPGs I've ever played. It's a Japanese RPG. It's like the music is fucking banging. I'm impatient. I'm a very impatient person. I do not like Pokemon makes me impatient. Fucking like doing like RPG stuff, like they attack, you attack. Persona 5, I had no problem with the turn-based combat. No problem because the music was good, the characters were good. The characters, Makoto, my queen, that's who I romanced. People that play Persona know what I'm talking about. And the story is just so good. Like for JRPGs, there's a lot of reading. It's like 100+ hour game. There's a lot of reading. I fucking hate reading. I don't like reading. Enjoyed every line I've read. I liked doing all the side quests. I have most of my hours were me grinding, especially when I played on the hardest difficulty. And I just think the art style and just the characters and how the characters are developed and stay consistent throughout the story. Because like you get pretty much like every chapter you get like introduced to a new character, and you would feel like, oh, like the other characters would feel like left out. But it's not. Plus, the side missions are pretty much getting like a relationship with characters too, and I think that's just so good. Like each character you like genuinely care for, or they have like a very interesting story of like what's going on in their lives. I think Persona 5 Royale is the best game I've ever played in my life, and I've been legit. I want to start another run through soon. I'm going to do that probably next month. Next month.
Yeah, I'm going to ask you to send me this list because I'll probably maybe the next game that I commit to will be one of your top 10 since I've played like none
Oh
of them.
yes, yeah. I played most of yours.
Yeah.
Yeah. You should.
Persona 5 I'd consider. Tommy's also suggested he loves Persona.
I love Persona. That's so
Um,
good.
but yeah, so we're at an hour 13. So we went a little bit over.
Damn.
Jake and I went a little over too. You know what the thing is? In the beginning, you don't realize how much time you're taking up with your top
Yeah.
10. Which is funny. You end up spending more time on games you want to talk about less. But
Hmm.
so while we start to finish up here, why don't you give me a very brief, like 30 to 60 seconds how was your first experience on the show? Because I plan to bring you back, actually.
Oh yes. No, I'll do it anytime. I love talking about video games. Out
It's
of our
super
friend
easy
group,
too, right? Because of the way
it's
I'm
so
doing it with
easy.
we just hop on Discord and that's it. You know, it's
Yeah. I would love to do a top 10 worst games you've ever played with you. I
I'll
think that'd
write
be
that down in
very
my list.
fun. I
The
think that'd
next
be
one that I
very
want to do
fun.
with you is I want to do. I'm gonna set up main characters from video games tournament style, and I want
Oh,
you, me, and Jake to like eliminate them until only the strongest one remains. Because there's three of us, so one of them will
oh,
always win each time, and I'll send out like a Google
oh,
form and we'll
yeah,
vote on it, like privately vote
yeah,
on it.
yeah.
So it'll be like
That'll be
like
fun. That'll be
Joel
fun.
versus Nathan Drake versus Cole McGrath
Like, oh my
versus
god.
Kratos, and we'll kind of like, you know what I mean? You, me, and Jake will
Hmm.
do that because not many of our. I think you, me, and Jake are the only people that have probably played a lot of the same.
Yeah, that's what I was. That was the point I was gonna get into too. Not everyone. Everyone else doesn't really play video games like that. Out of our friend group, but
Yeah,
you, and Jake play like the most.
definitely. I don't think
Hmm.
even one other person has played fucking Uncharted.
Yeah, I was gonna cop out. I was gonna do a cop out for my first one, but we were running one time. I was gonna like talk about like, oh, my favorite video game is Valorant for like 5 minutes, and be like, nah, I'm playing, and then show Persona.
That's so funny. I forgot. I thought you were gonna put Valorant in your top 10 because you fucking
No,
played every day.
I do play every day. I'm a loser. Not really. I'm a D2. One game off of D3 right now. Right after this, I'm going straight to Valorant, which is funny.
I was
But
considering another episode being I'll be the host, but I'm not really going to talk much, and it would be like you and Francesca talk about Valorant for like an hour.
yes, I could talk about Valorant.
Because I can't talk about it with
Yeah,
you, but I would just be like the host. Anyways, we're at an hour 16 now, so I'm going to finish up. So you enjoyed it. You'll definitely be back, right?
yes, I'll definitely be back,
Jayden
100%.
will be
No
a
doubt.
recurring. I want people to start to, as these episodes come out and we start to develop a following, people are going to start to have favorite characters. You might be the favorite, one of the favorites, Jayden.
Oh yes. Oh yes, I want to be a favorite character. You know what? Yeah, I'll be
Yeah,
a favorite character.
yeah.
I was pretty like chill, but if we do like another topic, I'll definitely be a
Are we
favorite
going to see
character because
crazy Jayden? We'll talk about. We're
yeah,
definitely going to. I want to do another thing. I want to do. I got to write these down. After COD comes out and we play together, I want to do like COD first impressions. Let's talk about it.
oh, I could, yeah. That's when I will get very passionate
Yeah,
because, like, I could have gone passionate about each one of these games. It's just like you don't want to go past time. Plus, you're talking about your games too. But if we do
yeah.
like a whole episode on Call of Duty, I'll become very passionate about it because to the viewers, I used to play a lot of Call of Duty. I would say I was very, very good, but I am absolutely washed now. So washed. But I'm also from to the viewers too. I also educate myself a lot on competitive gaming, like esports and stuff. So yeah.
But anyways, yeah. So let me close this out. So yeah, this was the internet
Hmm.
safe space. You know what our motto
I
is
love
here.
the name.
It's so good.
So
Um,
good.
I might still judge you, but at the end of the day, you see, me and Jaden had fucking very little alignment, but mutual respect and understanding. That's the whole point,
Yeah,
right? I'm gonna
and
bring
like I
people on
hated
here.
most of the games too, and I
What?
still respected you. I hated most of the games that you said. I was like, oh, I hate GTA. I hate this game, but like I understood. I gave you the respect.
Yeah. And I never played the ones that you mentioned really, so it's
Hmm.
harder for me to understand it, but I know that I knew the names of them.
Hmm.
Like I know they're popular.
Yes.
But we'll have Jaden back. Remember his name, Jaden Storms, whatever you want to call it. Um, at
Storms.
this point, I should have been posting on Instagram and TikTok and probably YouTube Shorts as well. If I haven't done that, fucking get on my ass to do it, but I should have done it if I
Oh
have,
yeah.
because I'm recording these in advance. If I have done it,
Hmm.
subscribe to the YouTube and follow the Instagram and the TikTok for like the shorter clips or whatever. I don't fucking know. This is a future me problem. And we'll
Future
give a big thank
Anthony
you to
Clone.
Jaden for taking an hour and almost an hour 20 out of his time to do this with
It's all
me.
good. I'm not doing anything, and I would have me on whenever. I
He
love
told me, he
talking.
said he's going to be shirtless on the next one. So,
Oh my god, that's insane.
You're gonna have a lot of lady fans, Jayden.
I know. I don't know. I might look different the next time I'm on.
Maybe.
I might.
All right,
My hair might be
I'm
blonde.
gonna stop this recording real quick. Internet Safe Space, great, best podcast ever. Such a good one. You love it, everybody. See you later. I don't have an outro thing. Oh yeah. Peace.